Good morning. Welcome to Newswatch Today. I'm Ashlyn Reinhart.
And I'm Sam Cochran. Tensions rise as conflict between Russia and Ukraine continue.
And the Springfield Art Museum receives its largest gift ever.
Summer Roddershot is here with your forecast, and Ari Cruz has your latest in sports news. This is Newswatch Today.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Right now, we have our first look at the weather. Summer, how's it looking out there?
It seems cold, but it will warm up a little bit. It is currently 34 degrees and it is cloudy out there. But then later today, we're supposed to reach a high of about 50 degrees, the clouds staying, winds being at about 11 miles per hour. But if you plan on driving home for spring break, you're gonna wanna stay tuned for my full forecast later. Back to you guys.
Well, Sam, I know it's a strange way to kick off spring break, but I can't say I'm surprised for being here in the Ozarks.
That's so true. Let's hope the rest of spring break is looking normal. Ukraine on Monday dismissed Russia's promise to allow its citizens to travel safely on designated routes to Russia or its close ally Belarus. A Ukrainian official called it propaganda and said it was not driven by humanitarian concerns. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky warned of a new wave of Russian attacks and criticized world leaders for not doing enough to protect his country. The invasion, now in its 15th day, has been condemned across the world, led to crippling sanctions on Russia, and left Russian President Vladimir Putin increasingly isolated on the world stage.
Like we've experienced already, gas prices have spiked in the recent weeks, and GasBuddy predicts that these numbers will not decrease anytime soon. GasBuddy analysts said that these numbers and the rapid rate of increase are unprecedented, and that global events happening in Russia, these high prices are going to stick around for months. This compares to the spike in 2008 when prices began to subside within weeks. The U.S. hit a new record high at over $4 a gallon, and the yearly average is predicted to hit an all-time high as well. And a much-needed event was put on by Evangel Activities Board on Tuesday. Activities Board is known for putting on events that are very exciting and action-packed, but Tuesday night was a little different. This event, titled S'mores Indoors, was carried out as a more relaxed event. The goal was to provide students with a peaceful atmosphere to battle the stress that comes with midterm testing. Zach Rose, Activities Board member, had some insight on the event.
Yeah, so S'mores Indoors, it's just a really great time to meet new people in the midst of these crazy midterms that we're all taking. One thing for me is I've really enjoyed lots of the games. Cornhole's out there. I'm a big cornhole guy myself. Lots of snacks, some s'mores. We got little fires. You can crackle your little marshmallow over the fire. We've had live music. It's just a really exciting place to be, and I hope a lot of people from campus are out here. So.
The occasion consisted of casual games, rock painting, children's book reading, and ambient live music.
The Springfield Art Museum announced on March 3rd that it had received the largest charitable gift in its history. The $5 million donation came from the Sunderland Foundation of Overland Park, Kansas. The Sunderland family has a local connection, having established Ash Grove Cement. The gift is intended to spur more donations for the Springfield Art Museum's 2028 campaign, a 30-year master plan developed in 2019. The campaign goal is $25 million. With the Sunderland Foundation gift, the museum has raised $9 million towards its goal, museum officials say.
And recently, a donation was given to Evangel's Theater. Allison Labrat has the full story.
Evangel's Theater recently received a donation of $50,000. This donation is part of $100,000 that was presented to President Rakes in the last week of January. Associate Professor of Theater, Dr. Vicki Wisdom, shares about receiving this news.
Professor Lawley actually had heard from Dr. Rakes at a conference that they were both at about it, and he told her that she could whisper it to me. But officially, he wrote an email to the president of EU Advocates. And when I was speaking a week ago at their monthly meeting, he had her read the email that announced the gift. And so it was pretty exciting. I had some of our students with me, and they were pretty excited as well.
The donation will be used toward updating circuits and adding LED lights in the theater.
So the upgrades, some of them will be energy saving as well as just improving lighting in general by upgrading to LED. But also there'll be some life safety upgrades too of the power systems.
These updates will not only improve the quality of theater productions, but also the learning experience for students in theater-related classes. Those involved with the theater hope to have the new equipment added in time for their spring musical.
You can support the theater by attending their upcoming performance of the musical Into the Woods. Reporting for Newswatch Today, I'm Allison Labrat.
And up next, an American athlete is stuck in Russia.
And I interview a member of Evangel's Heartsong. Stay tuned.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow. Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
Thank you. Did you see anyone's Broncos? Thanks for helping us. No problem. Is this fair? You're welcome.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
For weeks now, family, friends, and basketball fans have been urging for Wnba star Brittany Griner to be released from detention in Russia after the basketball player was held in a Russian airport for drug charges. The Russian Federal Customs Service made public that an American was detained in the airport for having hash oil, but did not identify Griner. The incident took place in February, but Americans did not know about the situation until this month. Griner plays for a Russian team in the WNBA offseason and was preparing to fly back to the States. Griner's current whereabouts are unknown. Thousands of Americans have signed a petition for the release of Griner. The Biden administration is working to have Griner return home safely to the United States, though the U.S. House Armed Services Committee stated that it would be very difficult to get Griner back to the U.S. And an Evangel faculty member had a trumpet recital this week. At Evangel, recitals have been taking place all month in the Barnett Recital Hall, where students and faculty have been showcasing their musical gifts. On Tuesday, Tim Wooten, an adjunct professor of music at Evangel, held a recital to showcase him performing on trumpet. Students, faculty, friends, and alumni were invited to come to the recital, and many did. This is what Evangel student Carly Creer had to say about the event.
It was really cool to come to this faculty recital because I'd never been to one before, and so it was interesting to hear someone other than students play, and it was really cool to hear one of the pieces that he played because it was a debut of this piece, So it's really cool to hear it for the first time.
The Barnett Recital Hall will continue to showcase more students and faculty for the remainder of March, giving people the opportunity to share their gifts and enjoy listening to live music. And now we have a special guest to talk to us more about Evangel's very own worship band. Isn't that right, Sam?
That's right, Ashlyn. Here I have Marcus Mavette on behalf of Heartsong. Marcus, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Heartsong. What is it?
So Heartsong is one of Evangel's traveling worship teams. So there's 3 different worship teams on campus. There's EU Worship, Catalyst, and Heartsong. EU Worship mainly does our chapel services. Catalyst mainly does more local stuff. Sometimes they go out of the state. But Heartsong is a team that goes out of state, and sometimes in the past we've gone out of the country to do worship services.
Wow, that's really cool, man. So does Heartsong have any big plans for the rest of the semester?
Yeah, so actually during spring break, we are going on our East tour. We're gonna go to Florida and Georgia. We're singing at a couple churches down there. And it's gonna be really fun. We have a lot of things planned for our off days just so we can actually have a break because, we're students and we need one.
Right.
But no, we're really excited for this ministry opportunity. We're going to a couple familiar churches that we've been to, so yeah.
So tell me about the next trip coming up.
Yeah, so like I said, it's our spring break trip. So we're leaving on Saturday. We're taking a charter bus down. We're stopping in Georgia and singing at a church that we actually sang at this past summer. And then we are heading down to Florida and Orlando. We're gonna go to Universal, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, and then I think we're doing a Wednesday night service, so I think that's a youth group. And then Thursday we're gonna go to the beach, which will be really fun. And then I think we have a service Friday night, and then that following Sunday. And then we're driving back to Missouri, so we'll get back. I think we're gonna be back on Tuesday.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
So what is the deeper goal of this trip?
Our deeper goal really, obviously we want to get Evangel's name out there, but we also, honestly, we just want to spread the word of God through his gospel and through his song. That's really what Heartsong is all about. We're really about just letting the Holy Spirit lead us and just letting God move through us. Dr. J, our advisor, is always about, not letting us be seen on stage, but really just the presence and the Holy Spirit of God. And so that's really our goal and our mission, just to help the East Coast and the churches that we're going to feel the word of God, feel the presence of God through our worship.
That's awesome, man. So how did Heartsong make it to General Counsel in August?
Yeah, so actually we weren't even the scheduled team to go. We didn't know that we were going until about 3 weeks out, which was kind of stressful because that meant that we had to come up with sets, come up with songs as we got down there. So I think we left and got down there a few days before General Counsel actually started. And so it was honestly kind of stressful, but it was so much fun. I grew up doing fine arts and going to General Counsel. So that was really just a full circle moment for me, being able to go on stage and give glory to God there. And it was a lot of fun. It was stressful, but it was a lot of fun.
Gotcha, yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to join Heartsong?
Yeah, so I joined Heartsong. I came into my freshman year, and I joined Heartsong then. I had heard a lot about it. I had a lot of people from my youth group come to Evangel. And during my visit day, I had the chance to audition and just show Dr. J and the rest of Heartsong that I was interested and talk to them a lot about it. And I have no regrets about joining Heartsong. It's definitely become probably one of my closest families on campus. I've been doing worship since 6th grade. And so it's always just been a part of my life. And I knew that Heartsong was really top caliber when it came to doing worship. And they had a lot of ministry opportunities outside of the school. And I'd never done something like that. So I just really wanted to just grow in my worship ways. So, yeah.
Yeah, so how can students get involved with Heartsong?
Yeah, so we actually just had a merchandise sale. I don't know if we're going to open it back up. I hope that we do. We do have a night of worship planned for this semester. We don't know when it is yet, but as soon as we do, we'll probably post it on our Instagram. But as of now, there's not a lot of ways other than that night of worship, but just like giving support and just praying for us as we're about to go on this tour, I think that would be the biggest way that students can not only get involved, but help us out.
Gotcha, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And lastly, what is your favorite part of Heartsong?
Ooh, my favorite part, probably the people. You know, I've gotten really close to a lot of them. My best friend is on heartsong, and it's just always been like a great community for me, a great outlet, and just a really great place to worship God with other people who truly love God and are of high caliber and of high experience and skill. And that's probably my favorite thing, just the community and the family and friendship that we've built on that team.
Absolutely, man. Marcus, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been great having you and hearing your passion for heartsong.
Thank you.
Ashlyn, back to you.
Thanks, Sam. And Summer, what are the conditions like for those traveling home tomorrow?
If people are traveling home tomorrow, they may want to think about that and go maybe a day later, but I'll talk about it more in my full forecast. Stay with us.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Officials said at least 7 people were killed in Iowa over the weekend due to an outbreak of severe weather that unleashed more than 24 tornadoes. By Monday morning, the weather pattern had shifted to a wintry one, and residents in several of the hard-hit areas were dealing with fresh snowfall. Diogenes Ayala, director of the Emergency Management Agency in Madison County, where 6 of the reported fatalities occurred, estimated that at least 25 to 30 houses had been destroyed by the tornado. Des Moines International Airport was the path of the tornadic storm as it moved to the northeast, threatening air traffic and those inside the airport. As the dangers of the storm became clear, the airport decided to stop all air traffic and evacuate everyone to tornado shelters under the airport. Thankfully, no one was harmed. Well, I'm just glad that the people in the airport were able to get to safety as soon as possible.
Yes, and our thoughts and prayers go out to those that were affected. And Summer, what's it looking like here for the rest of the week?
It's going to be cold at first, but later it will warm up. It currently is 34 degrees out there and it is cloudy. We have winds of about 8 miles per hour out of the northeast. But later today, our high is going to be picking up to 50 degrees. And it's going to be partly cloudy with the winds picking up to about 11 miles per hour. But then later tonight, we have snow. We're going to have a low of 26 degrees with snow starting at about that 3 a.m. And then the winds picking up to about 12 miles per hour. We see that we are a little bit below average from where we usually are this time of the year, most likely thanks to that snowstorm that we have moving through. And precipitation is also down for the month, but once again, the snow is going to be helping us out on that part. Our satellite, we see that a lot of Missouri is covered right now with this storm. It is just barely missing Springfield, and we see that it is moving along this way, which means any mixed precipitation that we have is going to be turning to snow, but we'll look a little bit closer at that later. Right now, this is what it looks like for our area of Missouri. We see that Kansas City is pretty heavily hit with snow at the moment. And like I said, Springfield, we are just barely missing it. A lot of the rain showers that we would be getting are waning off and not hitting us. But we see that it is moving this way, and it's going to be covering most of Missouri later tonight. A closer look at our high temperatures across the state. Kansas City, like I said, they're getting hit pretty heavily right now. They're only going to have a high of 25 degrees for the day. St. Louis is only going to have a high of 42. Springfield's got a high of 50, and then Poplar Bluff has got a high of 55, which is one of the highest temperatures you'll see in the state for today. Our national forecast, Kansas City has so much snow right now that they're actually in a heavy snowfall warning as we are going to be later on possibly. Our area of Missouri has mixed precipitation right now, but all this snow that's over here is going to be moving in a line that is going to be hitting us later tonight, tomorrow morning. The snow as of tomorrow afternoon, Springfield is going to be getting about 1.7 inches. We're between that 1 to 3 inches for possible snowfall amounts. So anybody that is traveling home for spring break is going to want to think about it for a second because it is likely going to be snowy as you're driving home on Friday. Friday, our high for that day is only 29 degrees, so any rain or snow that we have is going to be staying and possibly freezing, making slick road conditions very possible. Saturday is only going to have, I have 34, so that means it is going to hit above freezing, and it is going to be sunny, but there is a slight possibility that for a while on Saturday you still may not want to travel. Sunday, thank goodness, is going to be picking up to 58 degrees, hopefully melting any of the snow that has stayed that long. And then Monday and Tuesday are going to have highs in the 60s, but Monday night going into Tuesday morning are going to have scattered showers. But once again, we're not going to be hitting below freezing, so that shouldn't be a hazard to anybody. And then Wednesday, we got a high of 56 degrees, which is a little bit lower than it was, but it is still really nice to what it's going to be tomorrow. So if you're going home for spring break and you were going to leave on Friday, you might want to think that one through, leave a little earlier, leave a little later, but just watch those road conditions as you go home. Back to you guys.
Well, Ashlyn, it looks like spring break is going to be just a little bit too chilly for me.
I agree. I'm ready to put those coats away for good. And up next, Ari Cruz gives us the latest in sports. We'll be right back.
My kids put skis on as they were learning to walk. I want my kids to be able to have those moments with their kids. Being a scientist, I'm worried about climate change in so many different ways for my kids. From the second you have a child, you want to do everything to protect them. I think our action on climate change is no different. It's just an extension of being a mom.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Learning to walk. I want my kids to be able to have those moments with their kids. Being a scientist, I'm worried about climate change in so many different ways for my kids. From the second you have a child, you want to do everything to protect them. I think our action on climate change is no different. It's just an extension of being a mom.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and
Calvin Ridley is the latest NFL player to join the list of suspensions. The Atlanta Falcons wide receiver was suspended this week for gambling on games in November 2021. The NFL conducted an investigation into the matter and determined that Ridley placed bets over a 5-day span in which he was on the non-football injury list for mental health concerns. The NFL also discovered that Ridley bet on other league games, including the NBA. Ridley is the second player to be suspended for gambling since 2018, when Josh Shaw was suspended for the same reason. You know, Sam, things always tend to get shady when money is involved.
That is so true. Guys, be careful with your money. And now, Ari Cruz with the latest in sports.
On March 11th, the Evangel Valor basketball team will compete in the NAIA National Tournament in New Orleans. This is the first time since the 2014 to 2015 season that they have made it to nationals, and the first under Bert Capel, Valor's first-year head coach. Going into it, they are the number 8 seed in the opening round and will face number 9 seed in Florida College. The games will be split into 2 sessions, which will allow fans the opportunity to view more than one game. Friday's game with Florida College will be the first ever matchup between the two teams. The games will be streamed for free through the Team One Sports on the Loyola website. Fans can download the Team One Sports app for Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, and watch the games on their streaming devices. In other news, it was announced on Tuesday that Russell Wilson was traded over to the Broncos. His season of playing for the Seattle Seahawks has just come to an end. The team agreed to trade Wilson to the Denver Broncos, and Wilson has already signed his no-trade clause provision and passed his physical, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. On Wednesday, March 16, the trade can be officially processed. March 15th and 16th, March Madness kicks off with the first 4 games in Dayton, Ohio, and continues through to the Final 4 in New Orleans. On Sunday, the selection for the men's tournament will be shared at 6 p.m. on CBS. Don't forget to fill out your brackets. Everyone is anticipating to see which teams will be in the games this year. Sam and Ashlyn, are you planning on watching the games?
I know I am, and I know who I want to win it all, but you know you can never predict what's going to happen in March Madness.
That is so true. Very well said. Up next, Airbnb makes a generous donation.
And Summer joins us for our final forecast. Stay with us.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for mental health and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seats for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Airbnb's co-founders have sent letters to leaders across Europe, starting with those in Poland, Germany, Hungary, and Romania, offering support to Ukrainian refugees and promising to work closely with governments to best support the specific needs in each country, including providing long-term stays. This announcement is part of a larger movement by the company to support refugees and other displaced people around the world. Last month, the organization announced that it has provided housing for 21,300 Afghan refugees, and it has set a new goal of providing free temporary housing to another 20,000 refugees from Afghanistan, Africa, the Middle East, Central and South America, and other regions. Anyone who is interested in supporting this initiative, including offering free or discounted stays, can go to airbnb.org/helpukraine to get involved. You know, I'm so thankful for organizations like Airbnb who are taking a stand against this awful issue.
Yeah, it's really nice to see large companies do what they can to play a part into this. In summer, how's the weather looking for the rest of this week?
Tomorrow's going to be cold, but hopefully it's going to be warming up. We see Friday only has a high of 29 degrees, and we're going to have mixed rain and snow coming along with that. Saturday, the high's only going to be picking up to 34 degrees, but we're happy that it's above freezing. Sunday's a high of 58, but then getting into Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have highs in the 60s, but also overnight Monday into Tuesday, there's going to be scattered showers. And then Wednesday is still going to be nice at about 56 degrees, a little bit of a dip, but still nice. So tomorrow is going to be really cold, but then hopefully the rest of spring break is going to be beautiful weather. Back to you guys.
Well, Ashlyn, what are your spring break plans?
Well, I'm not sure now, but I know that I will be relaxing, enjoying that sunshine while we have it.
Hey, that sounds like a great idea. Well, that's all for us today. I'm Sam Cochran.
And I'm Ashlyn Reinhart, and this is Newswatch Today.